Yes.
Okay. So if you notice here, what we simply need to do is to initially select what it is that we want to create, what type of app we want to create, be it a Canvas app, a model-driven app, or a website, which is essentially our Power Pages. So if we go, for instance,
sorry, Dan, if you don't mind, how do we, so that people that are watching the video, how do we get here, right?
okay. So all you need to do is you need to go to makepowerapps.com. I'll put the link in the chat. So I've just pasted the link in the chat. So if anyone wants to go there and create, new apps, that's where you create the apps from. And in there, you just need to make sure that it's pointing to the right environment. But for us, yeah, that's the environment that we're using. Let me check what's in there. What is put in there? So I think this is the environment that we're supposed to be using. My bad. So you just need to make sure that it's pointing to the right, environment. And then from there, you select the app that you want to create. And then from there, it will tell you you're creating, a Canvas app from blank. And then you give
So does that mean that you can create it from templates?
From template, I'll probably say the easiest thing that you can create from templates is because this is a Canvas app, you haven't got anything that you are building it from. Vis-a-vis, if you were creating something that picks up data from database, it already gives you, pre-built things because it's already linked to a database. But with the Canvas app, it's not linked to a database. Hence, it comes, as a blank thing.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll get to understand it a little bit more. I think next week when we do the 3 separate apps. And then that would probably, shed a bit more light, and people will probably be able to understand it a little bit more. So I'm just going to call this, our demo app. And you then specify the format that you want that app, to look like. So you might want it to be, a phone format, but I'll probably say the best is to go with a tablet, because the tablet will obviously still fit on a mobile phone. So tablet would be the most ideal, if you ask me. And here we've got our demo app created. And then if you want, to create a form that you want to use, or you can create a gallery. But these things we can skip, and then we can just create them if we need to on the side. It doesn't mean that, if we skip them, that's the end of it. We can still create them from the side. So essentially here, this is our landing screen. So this will be the first page, you know, on our app, and this is screen number one. So from there, you can start adding things onto your app. So maybe let me just put something here. And in there, we might want to add, you know, a bit of text to say, this guy demo. And then on there as well, you can add whatever else, you know, you might want to add. And you can put, you know, your sitemaps on there, and we can put, you know, input fields like date pickers. We can put buttons. There is quite a lot of things that we can add on there. So I'm just going to pick random things and add them onto here. Maybe we might need a button of some sort. And let's say we might need another button as well. Maybe this will be a button, you know, to say go next. In here, I might want, you know, to just
can you change that button, the one that you have, to add, right? And then if you can put another label, right? When you say add, then that displays the date on another label, if that makes sense.
Yep. So if this button here, you want it to be an add button.
Yeah. So just like kind of add the calendar or the date on the calendar into another text field, something like that. Well, maybe let me leave you to carry
Okay.
along what you're around your own thoughts anyway, so that's okay.
Okay. I'm just putting, you know, random things on there. So let's say, for argument's sake, you know, we would want to have another screen where it lands. So this would be our back button. To take us back to, you know, that previous screen. I think just to make this quite clear, I'll put it there. So this would be our page 2. Will be our page 1. I'm just putting these labels. Well, for now, they don't really mean much. But next week, when we come back with the proper scenario, I'll try and come up with a use case where we create an app that goes from page to page to page, and you can see how it moves from one page to the next. So if I could save this one now, if I quickly run it, you can see I haven't put much on it, but you can see we've already got our page here, our first page. And from there, you can pick, maybe it could be a dead picker, and then it does that. And from there, maybe you might want that date to be added onto something. Once you click add, it then adds it, to the next page, or, to some other field, which might be on the right-hand side. And then when you click next, it's then supposed to move to the next page, which would be this one here. So if I run this, so this would be our page 2, where we would want it to get to. So maybe here, just for clarity, I'll probably take this one off. And here, I'll probably put this one here, and we expand it a little bit. Probably put different text.
Can
Yeah.
can we add the okay? Thank you for navigating to page.
To page 2.
Even not okay, that's fine. I was thinking that okay, if you go back to page 1, right? What you added, can we display it?
Yeah, we can display it, but with that display, then I need to write a bit of code so that it picks up whatever is there, and I need to create variables as well.
Okay.
Hence, I was saying if we wanted to do, a few fancy things, it takes a bit of time because I need to get that code. I need to get a variable where when you select this date here, it picks that date. It pushes that date into a variable. When we navigate to the next page, it's supposed to move that variable to the next page. And then from the next page, we then decide where do we want to link that variable to. So it could be, a label where we then want it to display at, at a particular label.
Okay. So you just kind of create the variable, store this variable, store the calendar value into that variable,
Yes.
then create a label or button, whatever, and then ask it to display the variable instead of the text, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So hence I was saying for us to have something which works decently with, a bit more meaning, I would do a demonstration next week. I will have a proper scenario where we probably have, 4 or 5 pages.
Okay.
And when we put a variable in one page, we make sure that that variable, we move it along from one page to the next. And what could happen is we could have a scenario where we input something in page 1. We capture that value in our variable. We go to the second page, we select something. So maybe at page 1, we select value 5, right? We go on to the next page, we do something that we do, we select value 10. It then adds that to that 5 and it carries it through. Page 3, we do something and we add maybe number 10, and maybe number 3. So finally, when we get to the final page, which will probably be our page 4, we then wanted to display the sum of all the variables that we were carrying through, which is our 5 and our 10 and our 3. So right at the end, it should be able to display our 18.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So it's something which is I'll be very honest with you, quite interesting. And that's why I was saying we just need, a decent amount of time. So at least we do it in a way that everyone, takes along with it. Because the thing with development, if someone misses something along the way, chances that's it. You won't be able to do anything else. You will then have to wait for everyone else, to finish whatever they are doing for you to be able to come back to to or to at least be at par with everyone else. So this one I'll probably just change this so that we just make it distinct. I'll choose a different color here. Yeah. And if you need to add extra screens, you can do it from here as well. And there's various components that you do as well. So when we go to things like buttons, if I click on here, you will notice that right at the top there, it tells me that on select. So when I select, I then tell it what I want it to do. So in this case, I might want it to, to navigate to the next screen, which is my target. And our target will be screen 1, because that's our target. If I save that and then I run this, if I go there, you see it's taken me to the next page.
Is it possible maybe next week,
Mhm.
or if you can get a reference to where you can get all these functions, right? Because that will really be helpful. If you go back, when you put the FX, I know there will be lots of functions that you could do, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, on those ones at the top where you add the white. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that FS. So yeah, the way you put the navigation, there will be other things that you could do using it based on the action, right?
Yes.
On that particular
So
element.
there's quite a lot of things that you can do. So here you notice I was just using the on select function.
Okay.
And there's quite a lot that you can do on here. If you want to make it visible, if you want to change the width, and if you have over it, what color would you want it to show?
Okay.
The borders and so on and so forth.
Okay. But
So
on that one where you have the force, the FX, the function, if you click on that, not the other one beside it. Yeah, no.
or in
If you
here,
go to, yeah, in that, okay. Yeah, that also could also be good, isn't it? So okay, because this is related to that particular element that you select, right? So
yes.
it would not display any function that is attributed to text, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So we'll go a little bit more in depth next week. So at least we go through each and everything and what it does, from here on the select, the function, what you put in there. So for this one, let me just quickly, I know for the
And
sake of
and
brevity.
sorry, Dan.
Yep.
So for next week, maybe just to set the expectation. So let's say if the course could be like learn dynamics in 1 hour, right?
Yeah,
Something like that, that you would say at the end, we're able to build an application, deploy the application. I think the rest, for those guys that are interested, will pick that up as we go along. But I think in that, everything that you need to do will be there anyway. So you can then build up based on this. Because of course, as you know, you can be expert in 1 day, but it will
yep,
set a pace for you. If you want to know more, you know where to go to, you know how to navigate
sure.
your way around things. So if that would be good, yeah.
Yeah, we can certainly do that. Yeah, we can, have, like app in a day sort of thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Where, we teach people how to create an app and put in whatever components. So in the few minutes that we had, this is the app that we created. So we've got an app with 2 pages. So the first page, you can easily see this is the first page and it's page 1. And if I go on to the next page, it takes me to page 2. And this is our demo app. And, it says this is where I've landed. I can then go back and forth. And then, we can build in, more functionality in there. So at least we can have, something that depicts, a live or a real world scenario that
Yeah,
does, something which is quite meaningful. So I think this is just a test for people to see what you can do, when you create an app. And already we've got an app here. This is our demo app. And all we need to do is to continuously build on it. And we put in, as many things as we would want to on the app itself. So if you notice, we've got our 2 screens, and on the screens we've added, various components. We've got a label, we've got a button, we've got 2 buttons on that first screen, and we've got a date picker and another label. So we've got 2 labels that we've used there. On the second screen, we've got pretty much something which is almost similar. We've got 2 buttons and 2 labels. And the beauty of creating apps is, if you notice, if we then decide that, you know what, we need a 3rd page. So maybe this would say we don't want this to be, our final page. We might want another page. You don't have to create it from scratch. Because remember, when you create your app, you might want to create in a way that you've got your branding in there. So you don't have to create another page and then you carry on doing all the branding and everything else that needs to be done. You could simply just duplicate that screen and it will give you another screen. So on here, if you notice now, I'm on the 3rd screen. So all I need to do now is just to come here and change the values so that it denotes that someone is on the 3rd screen. So 3. And then here, navigate. Here we'll navigate into screen 1. And this one. So this one now, you notice it's the middle page. So someone can either go back or forward. So maybe what we might need to do on this one is just to add an extra button. So I'll probably say this one goes there. And this one will be our next. navigate. So this will be a screen 1, 2. I'll then go into our first one. I'll play the app. So if I go on, this is now me at page 2. I can go back to page 1 or go forward back to page 2, or I can go forward to page 3. And then we can put in whatever extra functionality that we want to do. So next week, let's make a date and let's make this exciting. And we can create something, you know, that can be used in the real world.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dan. This is good. It's getting interesting, more interesting, I would say.
Yeah, let's make it exciting. So what I might do, I don't know, we'll see. We can probably create one model-driven app where we're just pulling data from Dynamics 365, and we show it on our app, and we can interact with that data, even change it, amend it, and it writes back to the database in database. And then the second one, we can create a model-driven app, a Canvas app like we've done, and maybe we might not even connect it to a data source, or we can connect it to a data source if we so wish. For instance, we can create a data source, maybe of an Excel spreadsheet that we store somewhere, and we interact with that data. Or we can do, fun things like a little quiz on there where we go through, all the pages and we have a little quiz. So we make, learning a little bit fun. And then maybe the other time we can then, we think with all things being equal, we can maybe look at things like creating Power Pages.
Yeah, can I give you a challenge in one of those actually? If you can do something like, the Kahoot one, right? Where you have countdown and you also get your scores based on countdown, right? So, if you don't answer on time, you get lesser points or something like that. Then you get at the end, even if it's 3 or 4 questions, as long as you follow that would be cool.
Yeah, I think we can do something like that. I think if we're incorporating, something like countdown. So imagine when we play games, we all play games on our phones, one way or the other on our computers, and it's got a little countdown. So if you navigate onto a page and it's got a question, if you take longer than the time that it gives you, it will have a countdown on that particular page. And then if you go beyond that time, it will not still stay on that page. What it simply does, it goes on to the next page. So that means you for that particular, sector. So yeah, we can do something like that. Yeah, it's doable.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Dan.
Thanks.
Hi there.
Hi. When you create an app like this, do you have to publish it after?
Sorry, do you have to publish?
Does it need to be published? Yeah.
So with the apps, if you notice here, the only thing that I needed to do was to go here and save it, and then I can play the app.
Right.
And then with this particular app, if I also wish, I can share it with people that I want. Remember, the whole reason why you have apps is you have, if I go back to our example that I was using for business units. So you have people in the finance department, right?
Yeah.
And people in the finance department do, a particular type of work which is quite similar to them. So you can create an app that's only used by the finance team, and you share it with the finance team. And then you can, for another different department, let's say the marketing team or the sales team, they do other things as well, and they interact with Dynamics. So you can pretty much create an app for the sales team that only does things that they do, within the sales function of the business.
So, Dan, so when you do share, does it come like a URL that then the users will click on? Is that how it's shared? Like the one that we are seeing right now, the behind the web link.
Yeah. So when you share here, what you do is you're simply putting in the names of people that you want to share that app with.
Okay.
So if you notice, Alex has come up, and then I can share it with Alex, or if I want to share it with yourself, I'll do that. You notice.
So does the person have to be a registered user of
yes,
Dynamics?
because with this one, these are apps that are internal facing.
Okay.
Right.
So the people that you share with are people that are already within Dynamics, which are your
Okay.
Dynamics.
Is it because it's the canvas, or because, for instance, which one do you need to do if you are going to share with other people that don't have subscription to Dynamics?
For that one, if you want people to interact with your system, I'm most looking at Power Pages, the portal. And then with the portal, there's various ways that you can even get people to sign in into your portal. I think some of the things that you can get them to sign in with is, like their Facebook accounts or their Google accounts.
Okay.
Mhm.
So another question: why deploying? Why? For the mobile app, right? Do you have to kind of deploy to the app on Google Play, or how does that work? Like,
For this one, you don't really need to do that. All you need to do is it's an app that you share with everyone in your organization. So when people then log into Dynamics 365, you will then notice it will appear here.
oh, okay. So basically, you would once you log in on
Yes.
Dynamics on your mobile, right? You will
Yes.
see this as an application, right?
Yes.
And
So
I guess that's
in an ideal world, I'm seeing all this because I'm an administrator.
okay.
But in an ideal world, I wouldn't want everyone else to see that.
To see that. Okay. So they will only see that particular app when they log in there and they'll click on it.
Yes.
So
So essentially,
sorry, for Dynamics, right? So I'm going to assume that there is a mobile app for it, or I'm not talking about the website now. I'm talking about the mobile app.
Oh yes, yeah, there is the Dynamics app which is available, and even when they log in through there, what it will then take them to, it will take them to that landing page with the only app that they are only supposed to see.
So if you download mobile app for Dynamics, but you have to put your URL there, isn't it?
Yes, you put in your URL, which is this one here, in there. You put in your credentials
to log in.
Yes. And for argument's sake, if this was the app that we created for that particular user and we've shared it with them, they will only see that, which would be, the new app that they see.
Okay.
And nothing else.
So if it's going to be client facing, you have to use Power Platform, or what did you say?
Power Pages.
Power Pages. Okay.
Yeah, which is the portal.
It'd be good to see that as well.
Yeah. There's quite a lot, to be honest. And like I said, we will try and go through everything. And what I want to do is I don't want to rush it, so people don't get
Dan, if you can, because there's no how we're going to do everything within.
True.
Yeah. So if we can focus on the Power App for next week, so
Mhm.
then the following week we can focus on the Power Pages. I
Yes.
think for me, yeah, unless everyone so anyone disagrees, so that should be it.
Yeah, true. I 100% agree with you, because my thinking was ready to say the next thing that I wanted to focus on was the apps, which is the three types of apps: the
Yeah.
canvas, the model driven, and the website, which is
Yeah.
the Power Pages.
Because this is introductory section actually in terms of dynamics and power, because now we've done dynamics, we've done power up, we've done, yeah. So, and hopefully, right, we'll see talk about this offline. So for those guys that now say, okay, I want to take a career in dynamics, then we can have, yeah, something craft out for them, right?
True.
So
And
that's one thing. Yeah.
and even if we look